Oklahoma finished the. I want to transition to this. Oklahoma finished the season strong last year with a big bowl win over the Florida Gators, and the story was Spencer Rattler struggled early. They got off to a 1-2 start, and people were, kind of saying there's going to be a lot of growing pains for Spencer Rattler. But I think Oklahoma this year, this is a potential. This is a potential team that could not only just make the playoffs, but win a game and get to the national championship and possibly win the national championship. I think Oklahoma, and not even I think I know they can. Spencer Rattler is a guy that he has come into Oklahoma and just improved drastically. His redshirt freshman season just kept getting better, and this defense under Alex Grinch, credit to him, they have just gotten better and better, and they've really added some serious talent on that side of the ball. Oklahoma does a good job of they find that they don't always get like the big time 5 stars. Oklahoma's always kind of like Notre Dame and a little bit Michigan. They kind of always in the Penn State 10 to 15 range in recruiting, not always heavy loaded with 5 stars each year, but boy, they do find these kids from Texas. David Agwebu, he's a guy that played very well this year. He's a potential breakout candidate. Nick Benito, I love his ability to rush the passer. I think he was their sack leader this year, and the defense just looks more physical and faster, and they've shown a lot better ability to cover and make plays. They had Norwood. Made several interceptions. Trey Brown, who they lose at corner. I love Trey Brown. I think he, a potential sleeper in the draft. But I love what I've seen. The improvement Oklahoma has. More of a big physical defense like they used to have. Under Bob Stoops. Back in, you want to go way back to 2000 when they won the national title, and even early 2000s to late 2000s. But it looks like a defense that can match up better, because let's be honest, in 2018 that was a defense that just didn't belong in the playoff against Bama. Same with 2019, they just got shredded by Joe Burrow. But I think this defense and this team has really turned the corner, that not only is this a team that when they win the Big 12 next year and they start rolling and playing hot later and improve defensively, I think all the analysts will say, let's give them another shot, let's let them compete in the playoff. And I think they can go toe to toe. If this defense turns that corner, which I think they will, they can go toe-to-toe with the Alabama, the Clemson, the Ohio State, or even Georgia if Georgia gets in there. So, yeah, I've liked what I've seen out of Oklahoma and their improvement on the defensive side of the ball. And, Rattler's going to get talked about as maybe one of the top 3 quarterback prospects in the draft next year with Howell, Slovis, and whoever else may emerge potentially. So, yeah, it'll be exciting for Oklahoma heading into 2021, and a lot of mystery and a lot of discussion if they play well and they win the Big 12 again, whether they deserve another shot in the college football playoff, because they kind of had the Notre Dame effect. It's like they're kind of just tired of seeing them, because it's just like several years now, Oklahoma just didn't compete when they got there, and that's Notre Dame's kind of got that way too. They just aren't competing when they get there. But so yeah, it looks like next year maybe they get that chance. So yeah, people, a lot of hype around Georgia football, and I'm buying it. I love the way, when I went back and watched the way they played against Cincinnati, that pass rush, it was ferocious, and I think they can, play that way this year. They have recruited so well. Nolan Smith, that Dean guy, was it Nakobe Dean, and they got some guys back on the defensive side of the ball, and playmakers galore on offense. JT Daniels, George Pickens, Blaylock at receiver. They're going to be a team to watch, and with Florida losing a lot of guys, I think it's Georgia's to lose in the SEC East, and they not as much this year, but they've shown the ability to compete with Bama. So, Georgia is I still think, Georgia, if you talk about tiers, it's Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, tier 1. But like I talk with my dad, I think Georgia and Oklahoma are really knocking on that door to try to get to tier 1. This year they have the potential to do it. LSU I would put in that tier 2. the tier 2 teams haven't been as consistent, but you know that when things come together, they can get in that national title playoff mix. But some would argue that Oklahoma is a tier 1, but it's heavily debatable. It depends on what your criteria is. If your criteria is the ability to win, dominate your conference, check, but ability to get to the playoff, check, but ability to win a game in the playoff, no. Ability to win the national championship, no. So, and I would say that is a question mark for next year, but in my opinion, I believe they can. So that's why I'd say tier 2 knocking on the door, and then the same for Georgia, tier 2 but knocking on the door, and then LSU still going to be so young next year, so it'll be tough to say, but yeah, it'll be interesting. So yeah, it's the SEC is it's gonna be tough again next year. LSU, a lot of youngsters they had step up this year. They're gonna have a lot of guys back returning. So Florida they have a good young quarterback that'll likely start, and Florida have some good young weapons too. Dameon Pierce, I think he's another guy that ESPN had on their list as potential breakout candidates. So yeah, Florida is not going to be an easy out, but for Georgia, if Georgia is the preseason favorite, so I guess this will all be decided next year, and I can't wait to get for college football season. Honestly, it could be another top heavy year, but I think there's teams that are closing the gap, and I think people would love to see some more competitive semifinal games. And so thanks for tuning in, guys. Stay tuned for more episodes from the show. Till next time. Peace.